We're all born with certain traits like height or body type. It's in our physical DNA. And as someone who would like to grow taller, trust me, you're stuck with them.
That's right. But the other traits you get from your parents, like the way you handle money or struggle with body image, well, those fall under the category of emotional DNA. But those can be altered.
Jacqui Denker is learning how to rewire emotional DNA for a better life. And that's our featured story at the top of the list.
We all know we inherit physical traits like eye color and hair color, but
you don't just inherit physical DNA, you also inherit your emotional DNA. That is, your patterns of thoughts, feelings, actions, inactions, the events that have cycled down through generations.
We spoke with the author of Decoding Your Emotional Blueprint, Judy Wilkins Smith, to learn about it. First, how is emotional DNA created?
So what we now know is that if you have an event that is significant enough for you, it creates an imprint on your system that becomes the blueprint for subsequent generations of behavior. So now you start to repeat those.
So your money struggles could be related to generations past.
This is a little bit like genealogy 2.0. It's not just where you belong, it's what were the events and how do those matter? How have they created imprints? So they then imprint onto the genes and can then get activated or not.
So how can we identify our emotional DNA?
You look at the places where you are frustrated, mad, sad, really strong, determined, super successful, something that either drives you or really can shut you down. Those are generally your two places where you'll find it.
For example, if you struggle with depression,
is it yours or are you simply holding it and carrying it for someone else generations ago?
So researching your family tree could potentially lead to finding a traumatic event from 4 generations ago that began the pattern of depression.
Because that's generally the pattern that's trying to stop. And right next to it sits the pattern that's trying to start through you. So what bugs us is the first half. The second half is, okay, what am I really wanting to do? What is my big heart's desire? I want to be happy. I don't want to be depressed like all of those women.
Finally, how can we shift it? For example, patterns when it comes to money.
You're going to write down everything that you feel, think, and do around money. But write it in your words, the exact language that you use. The next step you want to take is you want to say, who else in the family is like this? Where did it start from? And then the next one is to say, so what do I need to stop? What needs to stop with me? And then what needs to start with me? And you'll know you've got the start piece right when you get that little tingle that goes, okay, I can do this. It is an exercise. When you start to feel it and you're connecting with what you're saying and doing, that's when you'll shift, because that's when you'll make the commitment and nobody's about to stop you.
Breaking down our emotional DNA is at the top of the list.